And welcome back. So, where we left off, we're making our search bar for our Google logo right now, and now I'm going to teach you how to make the little search icon logo here, and how to change a couple things about our bar here that's not quite perfect. So, first things first, do you see this little target thing? That's going to be a problem in the future. This is called an anchor point. It's basically will rotate and scale around everywhere, around this point, sorry. If I click S for scale and I grow and shrink it, you'll see that it doesn't shrink and grow in the center, but more of the at that anchor point. And the same thing if rotating it, it's not a perfect rotation because it's not, the anchor point's not perfectly in center. Let's change that. Up in your menu, you have this pan behind tool or the anchor point tool, or you can just click Y and the same thing. You can grab this anchor point and drag it wherever you want. But we're gonna hold Command, let go of click, and then let go of Command to bring this anchor point in the center. Now you'll see when I rotate it, it's perfectly in the center and spins at a constant rate. So, but we don't need to worry about that yet. So we have our shape layer. We're gonna, press V for the selection tool, or you can just always come up here and click, but V is always good. And we're going to change the stroke and the fill. So up here, yours is probably some weird red color, but all we're going to do is top right for pure white. Then on the stroke, we can actually turn it like pretty dark. I have it pretty dark on the tutorial. And the stroke can be like 3 pixels. And it's up here, by the way, when you select, it's up here. So now we need to make the little search bar, or this little search icon, sorry. And so we'll name this layer, we'll name it bar. I recommend naming all your layers because after a while, when you get more in-depth in the program, you'll eventually have like 10 of these, and it's really nice to differentiate all of them. So if you need to edit something, it's just easy to click and just move it. So now we want to make our little magnifying glass. I'm gonna come up to the shapes again, use the ellipse tool, drag out a little circle. Oh. If that ever happens, if this ever happens, just a second. I'll use rounded. Use the rounded rectangle tool to drag another one out. If for some reason something is caps lock is on, just turn it off and then it'll bring it back to normal. Now, as you can see, there's something weird when I click it. There's not 2 shape layers. There's not 3 shape layers. There's only 2. And the reason for that is because I've drawn these 2 shapes on the same layer. The reason why I do this is because to make my life a little easier, and not having to deal with as many layers, all I have to do is just double click and I can readjust this little, what's it called? Little bar I have here. It's not mandatory, but it just makes life a little bit easier. And to zoom in, you use a scroll wheel and you can use space to drag around. So again, double clicking just to select it, just to make my life a tad bit easier. And then we can, actually what's nice also is we can set the fill by clicking the word fill and turning it to no fill. And now we have a little search icon. We're also going to need to change the anchor point because right now, here's a better case of the anchor point. If we rotate it, as you can see, it does not rotate by itself. It rotates around its anchor point. So again, we're going to click Y, drag the anchor point to the center by holding Command, letting go of click, and then letting go of Command. Now we're going to press S for scale, drag it down a little bit, and then we can press V and drag it over here and kind of see what it looks like. What way is his face on Google? Face it to the left. So now we're going to click R for rotation and kind of drag it to the left. You can click and drag this number, but I'm pretty sure it's at 35. Yeah. Oh, no, negative 35, sorry. Negative 35. That looks about right. So now that we've done that, we need to somehow bring this search bar into our main composition. Now I don't want to just use these 2 shape layers because that'd be too much to deal with. And I like using as little as possible to make as much as possible. So we are going to drag select both of these. We're going to right click on it and we're going to go down to PreCompose. We're going to call this PreComposite search bar. And we're going to press OK. Also, you had to click, I'll do it again. Right click, PreCompose, and I want it to open in a new composition. The reason why we want to open into a new composition is just in case we want to edit this, we can edit it in here, but we'll have the search bar if we drag and drop it in. Oh, sorry, or Command C, Command V it in. Command C, Command V. Now we have our search bar here, and we're going to drag, and we can use position, the P, and we can drag it down using the different sliders here, which makes it a little better and a little more precise. Now, I provided you with 4 images, which you should have downloaded. So if I come into here, you can right click, go to import, go to file or multiple files, or you can just try Command I in the project tab, and you've already opened it up. This probably would be in your downloads or wherever you save your downloads. You're gonna want all of these to import, so you're just gonna press open. The format's a PNG just because it has no background. And so right now we're gonna want to use the Google logo. Drag and drop the Google logo on top of your search bar, and it actually kind of plopped in the perfect place. That was kind of lucky. If not, you can always go to the position or just drag using shift and something and kind of adjust it to the way you need. I'm actually going to turn the search bar down a little bit. I think it's a little too big. Using scale, again, clicking S. So then we're going to also put our what's it called? Our little index or info bar at the top right. That'll be super easy. Again, we're going to drag this to the top right. And this, of course, is way too big. So again, we're going to click S for scale, drag it down a little bit. That looks about good. And then drag it up to the top right of our screen. And there you go. 2 videos in and we've already made the Google interface. Now on to the fun part of animating the mouse and the words.